Hello, welcome to the first of 4 Advent reflections for 2021 from Morpeth Baptist Church. Through Advent, I'm going to record 4 short reflections, each one leading up to Christmas, with the last one being on Christmas Eve. And I was prompted to do these reflections as I was thinking about Joseph, Jesus' earthly dad, and remembered a scene from a BBC nativity version of the nativity from a few years ago, but more of that in a week or so. I want us to think about the nativity story and concentrate on the people and their relationships. It's not going to be really theological, more a reflection on what their lives may have been like, and to think about people behind the Bible stories in relationship to our own experience. And I want us to start with John the Baptist. I've always thought of him as Jesus's cousin, but seemingly the word used in Luke for Mary's relationship to Elizabeth is simply a female relative. But we know from the genealogies that she was actually Mary's aunt, so John would be Jesus's cousin once removed. But I think it's key that Mary doesn't wait or write before she sets off to see Elizabeth when she finds out that she's pregnant. She just goes, she enters, and she greets and is greeted. My sense is that Mary and Elizabeth are part of a close, extended family, and that's the vibe that's going on here. And so Jesus and John are born, or John and Jesus are born in that order, in 2 arms of this extended family. A few weeks ago I was at the Kevy CU talking to the students there about John the Baptist, and we all said, wouldn't it be great if we had more stories from their childhood and from their youth? But I like to think that they played together when they were children, that when they were at family weddings or family get-togethers, that they were the 2 boys under the table. We've all been there, or I have at least, playing together, bumping into each other at all these big family events. And I just wonder what their respective families said to each other as they got together and they played. Luke's birth story for both of them shows us that both sets of parents knew that each other's boy was going to be special and that their destiny was intertwined. Imagine the reunion after Joseph and Mary's return from Egypt as the 2 women watch their boys play. And I wonder, as they grew up, set apart as a Nazarite as John was, if John was aware that he was destined to be the one who set things in motion for Jesus and his ministry, but then is going to step aside. In John's Gospel, we hear John the Baptist say the famous phrase, "He must become greater, I must become less." I think we can be in danger when we look at people in the Bible that we don't just see them as parts written in a play. If this account is true, then these are real people speaking real words from real lives. And I believe it's more powerful if we see them like that, because we can not only empathise with them, but also imagine what they experienced. These are people like us, but people who played a huge part in Jesus' life on earth. As I thought about John and these words especially, I thought, how easy was it for John to step aside? He certainly kept on baptising people until he died, and so did his followers afterwards. But his path was to decrease. There are times in life when we realise that our part and influence in something is coming to an end or comes to an end. How do we deal with that? Sometimes it's because a change to our life season, like moving a job. When I left ICC a few years ago, after 10 years of putting my heart and soul into their short-term mission programme, I had to disengage my time and my emotion and hand it on to somebody else. As I've gotten older, there are some things that I did in my youth which I find more difficult or impossible to do now. And we have our changing roles as parents, as sons and daughters, siblings, and our changing role in family and in church. Are we reconciled with our changing roles? More importantly, are we reconciled with the roles that other people are going to take in our place? How does it feel? How do we react when other people start doing things which we used to do with passion? If you'd like to this week, take stock of your life journey. You could even draw it out. What things did you used to love doing? Or what friendships or family relationships did you value? It could be a hobby, a relationship, a church activity, a job. Why did you love it? What led you to it? Why did you stop? Is it the right time to restart? To support something that you once had a passion for? Or is it simply time to leave something in the past? And what is your passion now for today? Lord, help us to decrease in the things which we need to. Help us to see clearly those things which we have put down, but to celebrate the times we found joy and meaning in our relationships and activities. Help us to decrease in us and in the things which bring us life in you. May we know your desire is for us to have a life and life in all its fullness. Help us to find the relationships and passions for today. Lord, help us to increase in you.